it's me again, Jeanette Gomez, and we're continuing our discussion of what are the five, in my opinion, the five biggest concepts that a capable phonics teacher needs to understand and be able to know and be able to teach to the students. And we're on our last one, the fifth one, but let's review the other four. The very first thing we talked about was location. We know how important it is to know the location of a letter within a word. If a letter is in the initial position, it may make a different sound than when it's in the medial position. And that same sound may be totally different when it's in the final position. So teaching students location of a word, initial, medial, final, or any adjacent letters that come before or after it, dictates and predicts the sounds of letters. In our second video, in our second lesson, we learned this concept of vowel and consonants. And vowels are open and voiced, and consonants are closed, or partially closed by our teeth, tongue, or lips. And it's important to know about vowels and consonants because it lets our eyes begin to see syllable patterns. And depending on what kind of syllable pattern that's, and be able to see syllables, what kind of syllable pattern that is, it predicts the sound of the vowels. And that was a big one. That was our third lesson. Our third lesson was about syllables. And remember, S for syllables. Syllables are words or parts of words with one vowel sound. So an example is in rabbit. When we heard two syllables, we knew it had, rabbit, we heard two vowels. We knew it had two syllables. If we heard three vowels in a word, we know it has three syllables. And knowing syllables helps us to break big words into decodable chunks. And in our fourth lesson, we learned about how important it is to know the 6 syllable types, to know open syllables and closed syllables and vowel consonant E syllables, vowel teams, vowels that are controlled by R, and of course final stable syllables. And so this leads us up to our fifth lesson. Our lesson today is about accents. This is very important because knowing where accent is predicts also the sound of letters. Our lesson today is about accents. And this is important because it predicts the sounds of letters. Let me give you an example. We have a syllable type here. And if you remember from our syllable types, this is a vowel being controlled by an R. This is what I call combination A-R. And combination A-R is going to make a sound. And let's see if you can see this with me. Bark. It makes the R sound. How many vowels do you see? 1. So how many syllables does it have? 1. Okay. Let's look at the next word. Again, you see combination A-R. How many vowels do you see? 2. So it has 2 syllables because it's divided by consonants. We have consonants between the 2 vowels. And we know we're going to separate that. This is 1 syllable. This is another syllable. But look how I say the word color. Combination AR said It didn't say R as in bark. It said as in color. And that's because it's based on accent. In English, we usually accent the first syllable. You will not see the accents written down in English as you do in Spanish on the vowels. But in Spanish we accent vowels. But in English we accent syllables. We don't see them written, but they're there. And in English we accent the first syllable. So that means this syllable right here is accented. This syllable is not. How many syllables here? 1. Because there's 1 vowel. So that means this first syllable is accented. Accented AR says R. Unaccented AR says Let's look at another example of why accents are very important. And in English, we accent the first syllable. Let's look at this Y. This Y, how many vowels do you see? 1. Y is a vowel when it is in the medial. Location's coming back in. From our very first video, listen. When it's in the medial position, means in the middle. Or when it's in the final position. So we have one vowel here, meaning we have one syllable. If we have one syllable, which syllable do we accent? 1. So that means Y is an accented syllable. Y is saying I, as in sky. Look at this Y. Still same position, final. But how many syllables do I have? Let's count the vowels. 1, 2. 2 vowels separated by consonants means I have 2 syllables. First syllable, second syllable. In English, the first syllable is usually accented. So the accent's here. This is not accented. The sound of unaccented Y is E. Can, D. Okay? Knowing accent is very important to be a capable phonics teacher. So our lesson today is about accents. And it's important because it predicts sounds of letters. Today I'm going to show you how to teach using the discovery method the following concept of accents. Today I'm going to show you how to teach using the discovery method with your students the concept of accent. Okay, you need to have your mirror, students. Take out your mirror. I want you to look at your mouth in the mirror. We're going to say a word, and I want you to repeat this word after me. The word is candy. Say that word with me and look at your mouth in the mirror. Candy. Did I say that word the same way? Each syllable was the same way? Or was one syllable a little bit louder, a little bit longer, and a little bit stronger than the other syllables? The first syllable, can, my mouth was open wider. I held it longer, and it was stronger than D. So, the first syllable, can, D, was louder, longer, and stronger. Let's try another word. Let's do rabbit. Rabbit. In the word rabbit, look at your mouth in the mirror. Rabbit was the first syllable. Did you open your mouth wider? Rabbit? Yes, you did. Was that first syllable longer and stronger? Yes, it was. That is what we call accents. In English, we accent syllables. We put this line on them. That means that that syllable is louder, longer, and stronger. In English, we accent syllables. And the first syllable is accented. What do we do to the first syllable? Correct. We accent them. We do what? We accent them. And that means it's louder, longer, and stronger. We have learned that an accent, when a syllable is accented, the voice is louder, longer, and stronger. And in English, the first syllable is accented. In English, the first syllable is accented. And we know how important it is to teach that concept of accents, because when a letter is in an accented syllable, it makes a different sound than when it's not in an accented syllable. knowing about accents, that they're louder, longer, and stronger, leads us to understand that when a letter is in an accented syllable, it makes a different sound than when it's in an unaccented syllable. That's it. All 5 lessons that a capable phonics teacher needs to understand. Knowing about location of a letter within a word predicts its sound. Knowing what a vowel is, that it's open in voice. Knowing that a consonant is closed or partially closed by our teeth, tongue, or lips helps us to see patterns in words, helps us to decode words, break them apart in chunks. Knowing about syllables, knowing a syllable is a word or part of a word with one vowel sound, lets us begin to be able to see the 6 different syllable types. And we have to understand the 6 syllable types because it predicts the sounds of letters, especially vowels, in that syllable type. And the 6 syllable types, again, are closed, open, vowel consonant E, vowel team. And remember, vowel teams are when there's 2 vowels side by side. Vowel controlled R. The R is controlling the sound of the vowel. And of course, final stable syllable. And final stable syllable means that that syllable type is always stable, spelled the same way and pronounced the same way, no matter what word it's in. And it's final because, of course, it's in the final position, going back again to location. And of course, it's a syllable. It opens our mouth. A syllable is a word or part of a word with one vowel sound. And then that brought us up to our very last lesson, lesson 5. And lesson 5 is about accents. We accent syllables in English. And we usually accent the very first syllable. We accent the very first syllable. An accent means it's louder, it's longer, and it's stronger. You're well on your way to become a very capable phonics teacher, learning those 5 very foundational concepts that you can teach your students.